Well, here I am on the eve of my 11th month of my lifestyle change. The decision to remove sugar, grains, seed oils, and refined foods from my diet. Is it 100% absolute? Nah, not at all. Maybe one day I'll feel like making a box of macaroni and cheese. I'm going to feel like crap. So here's another test of what happens when you're not all glucosed out and you've been fasting for a while. Believe it or not, yesterday I dropped the girls off to go visit their sister in Morelia. And on the way back, I took a route I normally don't take. And here in Aguascalientes, we have bridges, and under like every bridge, there's a U-turn section, right? Well, I'm traveling east. The sun is just coming up, and it's like right there. It's perfectly east. And as I'm making the U-turn, there's a sign that's blacked out. And as I turn and the sun disappears behind the bridge, it says, "No U-turn." Really? I'm already committed. No kidding. I'm like, well, you know what? To stop, back up. I mean, all this goes through your mind. To stop and back up is more dangerous than obviously just complete your stupid maneuver. No kidding. There's a cop right there. Like, all you guys are like, karma. Yeah, whatever. Get over it. This is Mexico. We don't do karma here. We're Catholic. But anyways, immune. And all of a sudden, as soon I'm like, I see the cop, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And he's like, bam. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just immediately, he's stuck behind cars, all right, at a red light. And I just pulled off into the parking lot right there next to the intersection. And turned the car off, waited, and then I hang my hands out the window. Okay, crossed. If my window's open. If it's not open, I put them on top of my, I rest my wrists on top of my steering wheel, fingers outstretched, all right? And I don't move until the officer actually comes. I look up like this, and he knocks on the window, and I kind of wiggle my hands, and I'm going to roll down the window, right? I don't want to be no MF accident, you know what I'm saying, baby, all right? I don't know how y'all get killed, but hey, you know what? Obviously, you don't understand human nature, or, like me, you've never been a federal law enforcement officer. Anyway, the window's down. Anyway, he comes up with a smile on his face. Probably because of the hands, because in Mexico, most people are not armed. But at the same time, hey, you know what? Ooh, I'm drinking out of my Guanajuato mug, which if I remember, I'll tell you why I'm even drinking out of that today. But back to my story. So normally I'd be a little jittery, shaky, just because of adrenaline, but I've already been fasting for 20 hours, so cortisol's already there. It's interesting when you're fasting, your metabolism actually speeds up, and you do get little boosts of cortisol, especially when driving and stuff. But even now, I have a little bit of morning effect, but by the afternoon, I am like, boom. You can put a piece of paper on my hand, and it won't move. And my friend the other day, she's like this, "I haven't eaten in 12 hours. I said, yeah, that's because you eat a lot of glucose, and your cortisol is just ramping up your blood sugar right now because it's not used to your not having food. Another story for another day. But anyway, so I said, "Officer, you're not going to," obviously all in Spanish. I said, "Officer, you're not going to believe this. Dude," and I told him the story about the sun. He's like, "Well, your car, I checked your plate, everything, you're in total spec. Are you the owner of the vehicle?" I said, "No, my wife is." Then he looks over and she smiles. He smiles back. He said, "Well, all this is, you've just committed an infraction, and we have two options in Aguascalientes. The first one, it's a 1,600 peso fine. It's about $80. And I have to take your plate, and you have to go downtown, or because you don't seem, everything is in shape. This is nothing but a minor infraction. You guys look like you're, squared away kind of thing. I mean, he's actually just almost praising us. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I have no excuse, officer, actually. I mean, that's what happened, but ultimately, I have no excuses, sir. And that's what I would say to an American police officer. And believe it or not, I mostly don't get tickets because I mostly don't break the law ever. I mean, I just actually don't, because I know it's a death sentence. All these laws are written in the blood of death victims, okay? So, I mean, at my age, 55, it's not a speed show. I don't have anybody to impress. My wife already loves me, and I love her back, and we just impress each other all the time because we're awesome. So anyway, he says, but I can cancel the infraction here for 200 pesos. And that's like, 200 pesos, like, híjole, $40? No. Come on, man, quick math here. $10, sorry. I look at his spouse and, I mean, I don't feel like going downtown, and obviously if he's willing to cancel the infraction. So he writes up the paperwork, and the whole thing is really cool. As a matter of fact, he said, this is the nicest traffic stop I've ever been in, and I haven't been in one in like 20 years. But I really have to hand it to you, officer. This has been a real pleasure to do business with you. I mean, not obviously in a bribery, none of that. No. It's just it's always a business transaction, and I wish you guys would understand that. Look, if you're not dirty, and you have all your ducks in a row, so to speak, this is a business transaction. You've got to be amiable. You've got to be nice. Hey, if you broke the law, you broke the law. The minute you admit it, chances are probably 80%. I know I'm human, and if the captain comes up and says, I don't have my paperwork in order. Well, okay. You know what? Tell you what, just do this, and we'll just issue a little warning and done deal. And not because of this, but later they're like, by the way, would you like to eat? And we're allowed in the Coast Guard, at least at that time, we were allowed to accept food. So we'd sit and chat with the captain, and oh my gosh, we got to deal with Greeks and Italians, and it was what a wonderful life so far that I've had, being able to mingle with human beings from all over the planet, which kind of gives me an edge on most people who just really never got out of their hometown, and they just have all these like views. Whatever. There's a huge world out there, friends. So anyway, and I said, I handed you this. This has been the nicest thing in the world. So I signed it, and of course he didn't give me a copy. So maybe that's the idea of cancellation. Maybe it was just something like like sometimes you sign little acknowledgments with your kids, and then you can kind of tear it up. So I'm sure this is going to find its way into the circular file. And really, he was just the nicest person. No arrogance, no cockiness, no, he's the law because he knows he's the law. He was appointed there. That's how I was when I was in the Coast Guard. That's how cops should be. Guys, LEOs, if any of you are catching this, or if you have friends who are law enforcement officers, please send this to them. Friends, do not engage with these people. Life's tough. You have a job to do. Just do your job. Be business. Be nice. You don't have to be a dick. You really don't. You have no arrogance to possess. You're not there because you're the law. No, that's what's his face? Sylvester Stallone and the judge. You're an executive arm, and you should be a very nice executive arm. You should be pleasant. You should be cordial. You should say, "How are you today, sir? How are you feeling? How's life?" I mean, obviously, keep an eye on stuff going on. You don't want to get your butt shot either. I'm not saying be lax. I'm saying be nice. Do you know how nice people are when you're nice to them? My God, they're going to think like, thank you for giving me the ticket almost. I'm dead serious. I have watched several cop stops and ones that go wrong. And unfortunately, friends, you engage. You engage. Stop videoing me. What is your ass problem, brah? I have no problems with people videoing me. You know why? Because I'm not a fuck up when I'm not being videoed. See, if you're an idiot in your real life, when nobody's watching, well, of course you're going to take umbrage with people in your professional life when people are watching. because you're a jerk and you need to make a change. And that's okay, you can change. But I'm not here talking to cops as a little, oh, honey. No, tough love, military. Cowboy up. Get that badge right. Ladies, you too, don't engage with these people. Keep your hand on your pistol. Be ready. Keep it unclipped. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shoot first, ask questions later. All right? That's your judgment. Put me on the jury. I will never, ever judge against a cop as long as you didn't engage and exacerbate the situation. All right? Again, I know this probably has not a whole lot to do with like from fat to fit after 50, but I'm just wanted to tell you that whole story, to tell you that I wound up calm. The whole thing was calm. Hey, at the end, I saw I wasn't supposed to do what I wasn't supposed to do. You got nothing, man. Learn to lose a battle to win the war. If you're wrong, fess up immediately. And I really had to tell him the story because I'm like, the placement of the sign was just freaky out, sir. I mean, I am not into and especially in Mexico, do not break laws. Because they trust me if they actually. One last little anecdote. Let's say you're driving with a bunch of traffic and all of a sudden everyone hits the brakes. And you're thinking, what are they hitting their brakes for? And you have this clear path. You're like, you don't see cows, and you just drive on. Wham, you're going to destroy your suspension over like the monument to all speed bumps because it wasn't marked. If a Mexican hits his brakes, there's a damn good reason why, and you'd better hit your damn brakes, all right? These are things you learn. Look, not everywhere in the world is completely controlled nanny state, big brother state. I'm sorry, friends. I grew up in the U.S., and I went back for a few years, about a lustro ago. You guys are not living in a free society right now. You are being watched. You are being controlled. You are being domineered. You are being commanded. You are being controlled. Now, if you don't want to see it and you want to sheep out and do your things, amen. That's you. But I gotta tell you, you know what? I have always been a laissez-faire person. That is someone who said, you know what? Let it be. Let me be. Let me do my business. And if somebody screws me over, I learned that I got screwed over. If I have my life, and all he did is take money, or all he did is take things, and he left me my life, wow, what a blessing. This is what the Stoics would call the taxes of life. You have to pay tax. You always have to pay taxes. So somebody steals from you. Are you alive to know about it? Forgive him, move on. But tie up your camel. Don't trust him anymore, right? What is this? And again, I'm segueing. This is like Philosophy Friday for me, man. I can't eat today anyway. I have to fast. This is a Catholic fast. And I haven't eaten since 3 yesterday. So I'm already 18 hours into my next fast. And I won't eat till probably another 12 hours from now. So, you're looking for a 30-hour fast. The placemats, the welcome mats in front of your house that say, this house guarded by Smith & Wesson 3 nights a week. You pick which 3. What? That's dumb. The minute you put something stupid like that on your front mat, I know you're an idiot. I know you're a coward. I know you'll never shoot me. You played your hand. Do not play your hand. If you really believe this person's a bad actor and you do have a pistol and it's at night and they're just breaking in and rummaging through things and you think you got a good shot, then take it. Because A, I'm certain they're armed, and B, I'm certain they don't want witnesses. Right? But normal, good thieves will never rummage around your house while you're home because they know you're armed. Good thieves will actually have watched you, and they'll know when you go to work. They'll watch you for 2 to 3 weeks. They know what you're doing. You idiots have the same routine all the time. I even semi have a routine, but we're always pretty chaotic actually around here, which is kind of nice. Nice to live on the edge. But no, they'll break them when you're not home, or especially if they're renting. they'll rent in behind you, and then while you're not home one day, they'll just cut through the drywall and steal everything through the other side, and even if they don't put the drywall back, they'll load it right into a moving van. Obviously, they think you're moving in, all right, and nobody's going to equate moving out, and they're just going to take all your stuff, or they'll take the stuff they can sell, and you'll come home with a big hole in there, and obviously the guy used a fake ID to get the lease in the first place. See, there's lots of ways for real good thieves who I think are intelligent. They're evil, but they're intelligent. Don't ever think thieves are stupid. No, the stupid thieves kill people. The stupid thieves, yeah, they're hard up. They don't know how to plan. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Not that I would do any of these things, obviously. But I am a chess player, a very good one. In fact, ask my Belgian friend. Sorry. I'm not bragging. He whipped me once and we drew once, so I'm good. Yeah, you got to plan stuff out. So, bottom line, what am I saying here? It's so good to be off glucose. It is so absolutely wonderful to be off glucose. I love being on ketones. And, like yesterday I did, after this whole rigmarole, I had eaten 2 hard-boiled eggs, and then we had a quesadilla, but I asked for just 1 tortilla. Again, pretty huge tortilla. I would say it might have been 60 grams of carbs or so, maybe higher. But my body will have evaporated that within 2 to 3 hours anyway, just because of my base metabolism being so high. But before then, I had eaten 2 hard-boiled eggs. That slows down the absorption. Plus, I asked for double meat, double cheese. And it's a fatty meat. It was chicharrón duro, which is like essentially bacon, but not smoked, and like bathed in super hot chilies. Yeah, I paid for that one later. But anyway, it was all good. All good. So yesterday, I kind of had to get this out of my head because, I kind of have to justify it myself. I do not like making stupid mistakes. And this was completely accidental. And my wife was like laughing her ass off. So if she's laughing, she knows I was, I tried to do the right thing. I really did. But, hey, sometimes things go wrong. And ignorance of the law is no excuse. And I'm really happy to get out of this with $10 stinking. Really? My God. And I'm thinking to myself, our student, I need a student or two for an hour, and what is that? That's nothing. Nothing. Just think of the cost versus what could have been, and you don't want to do that because that's like total blah. So anyway, again, big fan of fasting, big fan of ketones. This is how humans should be. I swear, most of you, if you learn how to get fat adapted and you learn to fast, you would have a peace, an inner peace, inner peace. What is all that noise? From Poe. But you would have inner peace. You'd learn to forgive. You'd learn to forget. You'd learn what's really important, and it isn't food. So anyway, that's what I can leave you with today. So we'll chat again soon, and yeah, I'll get into my big mug later and a couple of other things that have really been kind of tweaking me out about the low-carb community now that I've been almost a year. Mm-hmm. We'll talk soon, guys. Have a great Good Friday. Remember the reason for the day, and be good to one another. Be well. Talk to you soon. Bye.